today is transitive and intransitive verbs. What do we mean by these verbs? What is the difference? How do we identify these verbs? And most importantly, why do we need to know about transitive and intransitive verbs? All this we shall be discussing in today's class. So, yes, you do need to watch the video right till the end. So, before we actually move on to our topic for today, let's just have a brief recapitulation of our previous video. That was subject and object. Now, you need to watch that video again if you've already watched it. If you've not watched it, you definitely need to watch it. We'll just have a brief recapitulation of subject and object. Now, in a sentence, the subject we say is the doer and the object is the receiver of the action. Okay. Now, this also is of two types. We have direct object and we have indirect object. Direct object will always answer the question what or whom. And whom do we ask these questions to? We ask this question to the verb. For example, Ravi bought an ice cream. What is the verb? Bought what? An ice cream. Then, an indirect object is the receiver of the direct object. Same sentence, Ravi bought me an ice cream. Bought what? An ice cream. Now the direct object ice cream asks the question, who is the receiver of that action? It's me. So that becomes indirect. Now with this in your mind that we now need to find out whether a sentence has an object or not, we shall be moving on to our transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that has an object to receive the action. Now, what do we mean by that? For example, let us look at this sentence. I have a new pen. What is the verb? Have. Have. Now, we ask two questions for objects, direct object. We either ask what or we ask whom. So, let's ask the first question to see if we get an answer. Have what? Have a new pen. So this is your direct object. And why do we call it transitive? Transitive will remind you of the word transfer. Transfer means something that is moving from one place to another. So in this, what is happening? The action that is there, the verb that is there, that is getting transferred to the object. That is why we call it as a transitive verb. Action getting transferred to the object. Okay, keep this in mind. The action gets transferred. Now, let us look at one sentence of the intransitive verb. It rained heavily. Okay, so the verb is rain. Let's ask the question. What? What rained? Nothing we get. Whom rained? Who rained? Nothing we get. So that means there is no direct object in this. And when a sentence does not contain a direct object and there is nothing to be transferred, no action to be transferred, that sentence is called as an intransitive verb. Now, keeping this in mind, let us now look at some examples of just transitive verbs and then we'll look at some examples of only intransitive verbs. Now, some examples of the transitive verb. For example, the first sentence, Deepika sent me a letter. Like I had said in the previous video also, identify the verb, that's step 1. Sent what? A letter. Now, a letter is the direct object. And transitive verbs can also contain an indirect object. Who is the receiver of the letter? Me. So, me becomes the indirect object. Although in this, it's not necessary to find out the indirect object. Most important is finding out the direct object over here. Then, Ankita bought her mother a bottle of perfume. Bought what? A bottle of perfume. So, this is the object. Again, we have an indirect object also, her mother. Okay. So, this is a sentence that is in the transitive form. Similarly, you can see we ordered a pizza. Ordered what? A pizza. Geeta has a new dog. Has what? A new dog. So again we have an object over there. Father gifted mother a necklace. Gifted what? A necklace. A necklace is the direct object, so it contains a direct object. We again have an indirect object. That's mother, and mother's receiving lots of gifts. First she received a bottle of perfume, now necklace. Good, lucky. Okay, so again that's an indirect object. So what do we need to see? We need to just ask the question what or whom to the verb. If you get an answer, you get a direct object over there, then it is a transitive verb. Okay, now let's see some examples of intransitive verbs. Now let us look at some examples of the intransitive verb. As always, first identify the verb and then we're going to ask the questions what or whom, and let's see whether we get an answer. So, the traveler rested under a tree. So, the verb is rested. What rested? No answer. Whom? No answer. So, that means this is an intransitive verb. And you know, it always has to come after the verb. Whether it is a direct object or an indirect object, the structure it always comes after the verb. And most importantly, in a sentence that contains an intransitive verb, you do not need an object to complete the sentence. Like when we asked what, we did not get an answer. Whom, we did not get an answer. But the sentence is fully grammatically correct. In the same way, the sun shines brightly in the sky. Shines. Shines what? Are we getting an answer? No. Shines whom? Are we getting an answer? No. So this again is a sentence that contains an intransitive verb. As well as all the rest of the three sentences. Please come and sit next to me. Come what? No answer. The baby slept soundly. Slept what? Slept whom? Again no answer. We reached home late at night. Reached what? Reached home. Again no answer. So just remember, when you ask the question what or whom to the verb, you do not get an answer. It is intransitive verb. If you get an answer, it is a transitive verb. Now, there are some verbs now which can be both transitive also as well as intransitive also. Now that depends upon the way they are being used in a sentence. So we call them as common verbs. So let us look at few of these common verbs and then the idea will be absolutely clear that how the very same verb can be transitive also and it can be intransitive also. Now let us look at some common verbs which can be both transitive also as well as intransitive also depending upon their usage. Now the first sentence that we have, the girl sang a song. The verb is sang. Let's ask the question, sang what? A song. So over here the verb sang is transitive. Now same verb. The girl sang beautifully. Sang what? Are you getting any object? Sang whom? Are you getting any object? No. So this is intransitive. Similarly, I ate what? An apple. So you've got an answer, the direct object. So this is transitive. I ate slowly. Ate what? After that, are you getting any object? No, you're not getting because the object has to come after the verb. So no object. So this is a sentence which contains an intransitive verb. Similarly, the other examples you can all see. Returned what? The pen. We returned at 3 p.m. That's intransitive. Returned what? No answer. Similarly, all the other examples that are there, just come to the last verb, that is play. When it is being used in the form of a transitive verb, we've given the sentence, Pranjal plays games the whole day. So the play we've conjugated as plays, that's absolutely correct. Plays what? Games. So games is the object. And when it is being used as an intransitive verb, Pranjal played. We've made it into the simple past. Played the whole day. Played what? Is there any object after that? No. So this is intransitive. So you just have to keep in mind these few things regarding transitive and intransitive. And yes, why do we need to know about transitive and intransitive verbs? See, anything that we learn about grammar, is not irrelevant. They are all connected to each other. And transitive and intransitive verbs, this knowledge will be very useful when we cover the topic active and passive voice. So when we do that, we'll be again referring to transitive and intransitive verbs, especially the intransitive verbs. So be a little more attentive now. And now what is left for us to do? Just little practice. You have some sentences given and you just have to identify which of these sentences contain transitive verb and which contain intransitive verb. So we'll just write the answer as transitive verb or intransitive verb. What do you have to do? Step 1, identify the verb. Ask the question what, who. If after the verb you're getting it, an answer as an object, then it is transitive. Otherwise, very simple, it's intransitive. So come on, let's begin. Answer time, and all answers in front of you, and you can see all the transitive verbs that are there. The objects are highlighted in blue, and where we have got no blue highlighters, that means there is no object in it, so that's intransitive. Just for example, love what? New colorful bicycle. So that becomes transitive. Let's move on to the last one. The children cheered loudly. After cheered, ask cheered what? Cheered whom? You're not getting any direct object or any object after that. So that is intransitive. So that's all for our topic of transitive and intransitive verbs. And if you've understood it, just give a thumbs up. You know where the thumbs up is? The like button. And till we meet again with another new topic, it's goodbye.